And blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning here on KIDO Talk Radio. Don't forget, this Thursday we'll be at St. Ignatius School in Meridian, Idaho, promoting our schools, securing our future, thanks to Cap8 Credit Union, T Mazda Subaru, and Grade Powered Learning in Meridian. Joining us now is Dr. Tommy Ahlquist, from the road, candidate for governor, Republican for governor, conservative for governor. Dr. Ahlquist, thank you for joining us.
Oh, good morning, Kevin. It's great to be back on.
Boy, kind of a retrospect of the crazy world that your life has been for over a year, when we're about a week away from deciding this thing.
It was strange to wake up this morning, and I've already sent a bunch of text messages out early this morning to everybody. It's a week away. It's hard to believe. It's like things going in slow motion now. As you know, Kevin, we're out on the road. We're in the middle of our 133-town tour. Incredible energy. We've got so many volunteers that are just ready to go all across the state. It's energizing. It's been fun to go back one more time. A lot of these little towns we've been to so many times. People feel like family to us now, and it's been fun to tell them thank you, but also, hey, don't sleep till it's over. Get out, get people to vote. So it's been fun.
Indeed, you have been credited with doing something that a lot of politicians talk about, but listening to folks. What has been that like, based on your background as a physician, a developer, a businessman? You're usually doing the speaking, but for the last 2 years, you've been listening, and even before that, you've been listening to folks. That's why you're running. But what's it like to hear the concerns of everyday Idahoans?
So, the really amazing thing, and this is why I'm so optimistic about what's going to happen next Tuesday, Kevin, is no matter where we are in this great state. Last week we were all up north, and this week we're down south, and, heading over east here in a minute. You hear the same exact concerns from every single person you meet. Good people working their tails off to try to make a living, telling you we have got to do something about healthcare. Heart-wrenching stories of people that say, I can't do this anymore, and we're not being heard. The system is failing us. Healthcare is a complete disaster for me and my family and our business. And then on the education front, it comes up literally every single stop, because people are just tired of being at the bottom. They are. And so what's been amazing for me is, as you listen to them and you hear their needs and their ideas as well. There are a lot of great ideas. It's been an amazing experience. And the last thing I'll tell you is, rural Idaho has been forgotten. We live in the Treasure Valley, where as you know, Kevin, we're doing really well. It's just booming. And when you're in the Treasure Valley for a day, everyone says, well, how are we going to deal with all this growth and infrastructure? And that certainly is a problem. How do we grow smart? How do we make things happen in a way that we can keep Idaho, keep our conservative principles here? But you get out into rural Idaho, and like I was in Buell yesterday. It's my 7th time in Buell, Idaho, and I love the people there so much. But you hear and you go through their funding formulas, their struggles, what they need in their town. We have got to figure out a way going forward that we don't leave them behind, that we listen to them, that we look at these funding formulas, and that we come together as one state. And I think that's absolutely possible. I think that's why our message is resonating. I don't think they're used to these politicians listening to them. I think they feel forgotten until the next election comes, and then all of a sudden someone shows up, and we will not forget them, period. We will not. And it gives me chills to think about it, because I have so many good friends now all around the state that are just ready for something new.
Let me delve into you personally. When you were a young man attending college, when you were a young man playing basketball, did you ever think that you'd run for governor?
I've been asked that. And Kevin, one of the things that I haven't told this story really ever. I was able to go, Ronald Reagan was one of my heroes when I was a young man, and I was able to win a competition and go back to Valley Forge to a leadership conference. And it was shortly after I was able to meet with our governor of Utah because of some merit badges I'd won as a Boy Scout. So politics were on my mind, and I was actually contemplating what I was going to do with my life. And there was a moment when you stand on that hallowed ground at Valley Forge and you think of all the great men and women who have fought for our freedoms, fought for our country, fought for the things that give people like me a chance to do anything I want to do. I thought, politics would be fun. And then, you get into life, you get into medicine and business, and really was cranking along, and life was pretty dang good. So, but it was always there, I think. I think that just like you, Kevin, I've watched you. It's been fun getting to know you. You serve this community every day of your life, and there's so many people just like you who want to make a difference in the world. And I just think it's time, and I think I can do it now. And And so, yeah, I think there's been something down deep inside all the way since I was a young man and standing at Valley Forge.
Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us at KIDO Talk Radio. How important are the young people in this primary election?
Well, the statistic I always tell them as I go around the state, I tell this story every single where I go. Last primary election, if you can imagine it, between the age groups of 18 and 34, there were 6,000 young people that voted. And you think of all the policies that this executive branch of government directs and oversees. That's just, it's sad that there's not more engagement. And so that's something we ask everywhere we go is please go find the young people, find those folks that do care but just don't think their vote matters. That's the other thing I think that you hear everywhere you go is, well, I just don't think my vote really counts or matters. And it does. And it will be that turnout. It'll be those people showing up this time that's going to make all the difference for us.
And speaking of the differences, the difference between you and your two opponents.
Oh my goodness! I think it's getting even more and more contrast as the time goes. That's what we're hearing in the field. It's sometimes you get in the echo chamber of talk radio shows and the political insider crowd, but you get out in the real world. I think people they see the difference. That difference is a very very big contrast between us, and I think that you cannot fake authenticity. You cannot fake real work. You can try, but you can't fake it. And I think that we have been out with the people listening. I think they know our heart and our mind and how we're going to serve them. And I think that's the difference. It's authenticity. It's hard work. It's something new. It's changing the status quo. There is a hunger to change the status quo in this state. People get the joke. They know that it's lobbyists and special interest groups and a good old boys club that's ran this state for years. Everyone knows it. And I'm just crazy enough to think I can take that on. And it's hard. It's been amazing. But we're going to do it, Kevin. We're doing it in 7 days.
Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us, Republican for governor here at KIDO Talk Radio. What about the first 100 days, if elected?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. We've already been putting together a legislative agenda that tackles health care, that gets to the heart of problems in education that haven't been fixed for decades, and that helps relieve our small businesses. We will have an agenda that the people will know about because we'll run on it all fall, and we'll walk into that legislative session ready to work with. And one of the criticisms I get, well, how are you going to work with the legislature? I think it's going to be one of the greatest experiences in my life to work with these good people that are there. But we're going to have an agenda based on data and facts, and we're going to drive an agenda through that session that makes sense to the people of Idaho. And it will be the people's agenda, and that's what's different. And so people always ask what's the first thing or what's the main thing, but it's those three things. We need to create a culture and an environment for businesses to thrive and families in Idaho to thrive, and that is going to be healthcare premiums. We've got to get them down, but not just the premiums. We've got to start talking about costs, and I've talked about this on the show many, many times. Education. There is a better way, and the better way is having someone finally listen to the people at the grassroots saying what's broken and then go fix it, Kevin. I am a fixer, and we're going to fix the education system in the state. And then lastly, and most importantly, small businesses around the state have been forgotten. And I think, heavens, everyone that's in government ought to go run a small business for a little while, ought to run a flower shop, ought to run something that you really realize all of the pressures that are on small business. We can do more as a state to take care of families and small business, and that will be our push.
Hey, you talk about pressure. There's nothing like a flower shop on Mother's Day week.
I know. Are you ready? You ready to do some delivery?
Yes. Yes, we'll have the truck ready for people. But and I've learned so much through my wife's small business, which you've known about for years, sir. When we talk about the people and giving them a dream, let's say 4 years from now, 8 years from now, pre-Ahlquist administration, post-Ahlquist administration, what would you like to accomplish? What would you like, if elected, your legacy? What would you like to bring to the state?
Hey, this is with a week left. I don't know why I feel a little. I don't know. It feels a little emotional this morning, Kevin.
I would say, yeah.
But let me tell you what. Last week I was up in Coeur d'Alene and made it all the way to Rexburg one day. And it was a Saturday a few weeks ago. And after an event over there, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I had to drive all the way home. So it was a long drive from Rexburg back home. And I was trying to sneak across the parking lot. without anyone asking me another question. And I heard someone yelling my name, and I thought, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I can't. And I turned around, and it was Becky and Leo Castano from Rexburg, and they ran over to me. And this guy's incredible. He's hosted all these events for me all year, and he always cooks ribs for everyone that comes. And I love him. He's become like family. But why I'm telling you the story, Kevin, he grabbed me at the end of that. He had some ribs for me to take home to my family.
Wow.
And then he grabbed me by the shirt, and he pulled me close, and he said, Tommy, I love you. You become a friend this year, but you promise me you won't change when you become a politician. You promise me. And I looked him in the eyes, and I said, Leo, I will never forget you. I promise you. Kevin, I have had those experiences all day yesterday. I'll have them all day today. There are good people in this state that want something different. They do not want to be forgotten. They want an executive branch of government that gets them, that understands them, that listens to them, that serves them, that puts real people on boards and commissions, that tries to get things done for them every day. I will fight like hell for those people. I will not forget them. It's the reason I'm running. And it's so nice to be out in the field where you remember that and you forget all of the junks and all the nastiness that happens in politics, because it's about the people, and that's what I want my legacy to be, is that when I'm done, people will know that we worked hard every single day for the families and small business of the state, and I can't wait to do that.
Dr. Ahlquist, are you worried about the Republican Party coming together after the primary, sir?
I'm not. I think, it's certainly divided. It's certainly mean and ugly. But I think that I think these things are contested and part of our democracy. And I really hope that I can reach out and bring people together. I hope so, because the solutions that we're going to propose, the solutions we're going to get through, are very conservative, and I can't wait to work with everybody on that. I hope that people are ready to move forward and go win a general election. And then most importantly, Kevin, I really hope people are ready to have some solutions. I tell you what, I've never talked so much. You get into politics, people talk way too much. and it's going to be so nice to just be quiet for a while and actually implement conservative solutions in the state of Idaho. There is no reason why Idaho can't lead this nation in so many things, but it's because we got to get off our tails, be quiet, and actually work. And if we do that, if we just work with conservative solutions, we can set an example for the rest of the United States of America. The United States of America is under attack. We're under attack on our values. We're under attack on a social agenda that has got to be stopped. And Idaho can be that shining star. We are small enough and nimble enough that we can fix problems and do it in a conservative way. But my goodness, we've got to actually do something instead of bouncing along the bottom like we are, because it's not good enough for our people.
Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us here at KIDO Talk Radio. Dr. Ahlquist, we'd like to invite you to our pre-Unity Rally breakfast on Thursday at Terry's Cafe. Right, then we're going to go to have the Unity Rally afterwards. We hope to see you there, and we'll see you on primary night. Hopefully we'll get you on before the big primary. We so appreciate your efforts and appreciate you always joining us, sir.
Well, thanks, Kevin, and thank you for all you do personally. I mean, you're out in the community doing everything every day to bring this community together and to get your message out. And it's been one of my great pleasures this last year to get to know you better and watch you do your thing. So thank you.
Well, you're always free to help me deliver flowers if you'd like.
I might take you up on that.
Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Tommy Ahlquist joining us here, and it is getting very, very close to the end. And I hope that we've learned something here, friends. These are individuals. You have Dr. Tommy Ahlquist, you have Congressman Labrador, you have Lieutenant Governor Brad Little, and it's been a privilege to be with you, and we hope to be with you for many more years, covering the stories that matter to you and hearing what you have to say. That's what I find fascinating. I don't think anybody knows how this is going to turn out, which have we ever seen that in quite some time? A race like this in Idaho, this is great for us, isn't it? Let's go to our old friend, Patriot Ray, joining us now here at KIDO Talk Radio. I remember the old days when we would hear from Patriot Ray every day, but he's busy. We always love him. We always respect him. And we always look forward to hearing what he has to say. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I think the one thing that bothers me about anybody who's running for office, as soon as they say our democracy, that bothers me. If you do not understand that we are a democratic republic, and if we are a constitutional republic, then I can't vote for you, because we're getting away from our Constitution. We're getting away from the rights of the people. Most politicians, they get up there and they say their little spiel, and they're going to promise to do this and promise to do that. They're going to change everything. You can't change it by yourself, and you can't stand there and don't understand our Constitution, because that bothers me. So you sound really good, Tommy, and I think that's great that you sound good, but when someone says our democracy, that really bothers me. So I'm tired of politicians who do not understand our constitutional republic.
Well, duly noted, sir. So how do you see the governor's race? You talk to a lot of people. You're a mover and a shaker. How do you see it? Put on your pundit's hat right now.
You know, Raul Labrador has been one that I've kind of supported, but I've backed off since someone he has working with him now. I can't support him now. I would like to support Tommy. He sounds really good. I'm impressed with some of the things he says, but I want someone who's going to be in office and understands that our republic is in danger, has been for years, and it gets farther down the road. So it kind of bothers me. Right at this point, I'm undecided right now. So I've got to hear people start really talking to the people about our Constitution and what we are, and not just keep following the same narrative that every other pundit gives out there, that we're a democracy. We are not a democracy, but we're getting that way. We're going to be a communist country pretty soon if people don't realize what our Constitution really stands for. And everybody's trying to change things verbally. So keep going. Kevin, you know that I love you. I support you. I listen all the time. Tommy, I'm not upset about the idea that words matter to me. And I just really want to know where to go from here, because I want to support somebody who's really going to do what they say they're going to do. And like I said, you can't do it alone, so you've got to have a lot of people pull around it. If you have a bill to go through, and the only way you're going to get it through is if you have 10 other people who want something else added to it. I'm glad that Idaho doesn't do a lot of that, but they do some of it in back doors. So keep up the good work, keep up the fight, keep trying, Kevin. We love you out there so much. Grateful that we have Kevin Miller in this valley and actually beyond, because he touches many lives.
Well, we love you, Patriot Ray.
Care.
We'll be seeing you soon.
God bless you guys.
God bless you.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Only because these phone calls are very quick and to the point and effective. Matt Otter, no relation, joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller.
Hey, good morning, K. Millie. How you doing?
Always good to have an old friend returning.
Hey, I miss you, buddy. I miss you a lot. Hey, just wanted to get in real quick on the governor's race. There's a town hall Wednesday night for Raul Labrador, and I'm going to be there to support him, Kevin, and I'm going to support him throughout this race. I think he's going to win. He's a solid leader for Idaho. He stood for our veterans, which is really big in my heart because I care a lot for our veterans here, and he's not an outsider like Tommy Ahlquist, so I think that's why I'm going to go for Raul Labrador.
Interesting. Well, Matt Otter, I thought you were going with Tommy Ahlquist last time we talked.
No. Originally when I called and we were starting the governor's race, I did like Dr. Ahlquist, but I didn't like the mudslinging he did towards Raul. I also liked Raul Labrador. It's just at first I kind of liked the doctor, but with this mudslinging, Kevin, I'm Labrador all the way.
Matt Otter, thank you.
God bless, Kevin.
God bless our friend Matt Otter. Much more on the governor's race. Coming up, Congressman Labrador will join us at 8 o'clock. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Thank you, Sean Hannity. Don't forget, Sean today at 3. After that, Lars Larson. And Cindy in Caldwell joins us now at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Cindy.
Hey, good morning, Kevin. I love that song, Everything is Beautiful. It kind of reminds me of Jesus Loves the Little Children. Red and yellow, black and white. You're all precious in His sight. And seriously, though, I guess I'm very sad. As a registered nurse for over 50 years, I have due respect for the doctor, but it literally sickens me. Since this whole primary started, I have been honored to speak to people all over this state sitting at the Raul Labrador call center to just give facts out, to help people sort things out and tell them exactly why I'm on the, campaign for having the most righteous man, according to Scripture, lead this. And you know what? Either God is involved or he's not. So my God, I believe, is going to raise up Raul. But that said, I feel desperately sorry because in 2008 and 2012, everything that Tommy has to say so reminds me of this hope and change and new that actually Barack Hussein Obama ran on. There's tragically he stirred up a pot of horrible things that was negative campaigning. Not only that, when you tag yourself along, I come from Connecticut, as a Ronald Reaganite, and then you actually dare to think you are like the Patriots that stood at Valley Forge, men bleeding and bloody with their feet, and you come along and you throw your vote away. That showed me you had no vision. Raul was the only one who saw the vision, which I tell people over and over again, that we need to have strong borders, that we need to have, stop illegal immigration, that we need to keep this nation sovereign. Who stood with, Vice President Pence, strong pro-life, whereas, I'm sorry, Brad Little, if you can't have it both ways. You either flood your money over to Planned Parenthood, which you did, sir, and then Dr. Alquist, where were you when you were throwing your vote away down a toilet bowl filled with E. coli? And that's just it. To even think that that woman, that's the deal.
That's pretty harsh.
Well, yeah, that is pretty harsh, Kevin, and I could tell you some other things about that with other behaviors that they're stirring up the pot. But it just sickens me when you use all that fluff rhetoric, and then who always uses emotionalism, whether it's, Mrs. Obama or not, or race divides, is the Democrats.
The libs.
The feely goods, Dr. Alquist. No, I deal with facts. I have been so honored as of late last night speaking to people about pro-life issues, giving people facts about Raul Labrador, the bills he co-signed, straightening them out about the fancy SUV, a 2015 Ford Explorer, just giving people facts. But if you want the strongest conservative, and I'll tell you, as soon as I see the Idaho Press tabloid endorsing
it's not the Idahoan, I'll tell you that.
No. But, even said that, the big bad Idahoan that actually had someone in there saying something about Idaho chooses life. Go figure that one. But I guess it more saddens me that, I hope the dear doctor doesn't think of jumping over to Buell like literally what has happened to Boise. You make all kinds of big bucks on urban renewal. I'm not denigrating or saying that you didn't have the right to run for governor, but,
well, you just said he did something with the E. coli. Mm-hmm. I'm a little confused.
Well, I was just using that as an analogy.
That was a strong one, Cindy.
That is a strong. Seriously, go check out the STDs that the liberals purport. Those are pretty strong too. And if you speak to anything that might be attached to something else, like people washing their hands, really, it's not just from manufacturers. So I won't even go there on that. But I'm not weary. I am as energized to get back over to the Labrador Call Center to just give people facts and talk to all the people around all the precincts in Idaho so we can get the strongest conservative, that I can look Raul Labrador in his eyes and his wonderful son and see the smiles and see the energy over there for wanting to do what is right. And you know what? To come alongside our president, that was big time to me when Raul decided to, which totally shocked me, and took the hits from every single person, in his party.
He'll be on today at 8.
Well, I'm just rooting him on. I'm just going to go.
I did get that from you.
You get it, Kevin?
I do. I got your direction.
100% going forward for Raul.
There is no question, Cindy, on who you're backing.
Absolutely never was at the beginning, because you know what? Janet Parcells said it. She was the head of the National Day of Prayer.
Yeah, Janet Parcells.
You know what she said? Yes. You should know as a Christian. I'm not talking about anybody else who doesn't say they're renewed, born again. There are 3 things a Christian needs to know.
Well, let's just wrap it on one.
One, strong family pro-life. Life, God wants to speak life into this country, and that's why I believe he will choose, he will raise Raul Labrador to be our governor.
There's your prediction, Cindy.
That is it.
All right.
Spot on. In God I trust. Go take out the coin of the realm, Kevin. You'll see that.
Roger that, Cindy.
Roger over and out. Bye.
Hey, coming up next, big decision in Utah coming up, whether or not they should legalize medical marijuana. We'll talk more about the governor's race. And one prominent Fox News personality says it's time for Jeff Sessions to get fired because the Attorney General is not down with legalizing weed. We'll get your thoughts next. Kevin Miller. Thank you, Ray Amaya. Kevin Miller in the morning here. And you're right. What is the gift this week? The bribery for Thank You Thursdays. We're going to do Boise Music Festival tickets again. Remember, Boise Music Festival will be here the 23rd. You've got Parma Lee, Robin Thicke, other great acts. But really, the event itself is awesome. It's free. I was at Ed's 50s Cafe yesterday in Meridian and gave away a few tickets with our friend Kent Goldthorpe. And it was just a wonderful time. We would love to give you those tickets. That'll be Thank You Thursday from St. Ignatius School in Meridian. If you're just tuning in, talking about the governor's race, it's heating up. By the way, Congressman Labrador will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. Dr. Ahlquist was with us moments ago, and coming up, Lieutenant Governor Brad Little will join us this week as we move along. Let's go to Don in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Don.
Morning, Kevin. I just think listening to your last couple of callers, the democracy versus a constitutional republic, I think we use those interchangeably. I know they're different. Everybody understands they're different, but to say you're not going to vote for somebody because he said democracy, I think is pretty weak. And then to say that God has put the mantle on the shoulders of Raul Labrador, I think that's a little strange in politics. But, you know, the other thing that hits me is the absolute hypocrisy of the folks that are all for Donald Trump. I voted for him. I think he's doing a great job. But the analogies between him and Tommy are so exacting right on. We need a change. We need somebody that's not a career politician. We need somebody that hasn't sat in the legislature. We need somebody that looks at things like a real person, a businessman, somebody that knows what everybody else goes through that doesn't walk through the halls of politics. And I think it's just very disingenuous to say, gosh, this outsider isn't good for Idaho. You look at the similarities between Trump and Ahlquist, and it's shocking that people even look at that and say, oh, no, we're not going to do this. Raul was an outsider a few years ago. I remember Minnick was a gimmick. I mean, he wasn't always Mr. Nice Guy, positive politician. There's folks out here that are being nasty for him, too. Maybe not him personally, but his PACs, and you don't have control over what your PACs do. So I think to sling that sludge, some of it always ends up on you anyway. So I just think that we need to really look at this and say, yeah, I think Idaho does need somebody that hasn't been doing this for the last 10, 12, 20 years. I think if you want Otter, if you like what he's doing, you're going to vote for Brad Little. If you didn't like what he's doing, you're not going to vote for Brad Little, because I think Little was his general over the last several years, and I think he's kind of done his bidding. And I think that you need somebody that can independently look at something and not how it's going to work with a particular party, particular constituency, particular lobby group. You know, Tommy doesn't need a job. He's got a job. He's got plenty to do. And the fact that he's setting that all aside to do this, I give him a lot of props for that. So
now, but wait a minute. Before you go, in honor of you mentioning one of the greatest lines ever in Idaho political history.
Minnick is a gimmick.
Yeah, he knows how to sling it too. So let's not align him with all the prophets just yet.
Don, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, 580-5436. I remember the old days of this show when we were, about a year or two old?
Minnick is a gimmick.
Oh, my gosh. And we had chants of that at town hall meetings.
Minnick is a gimmick.
Speaking of a gimmick, KIDO Talk Radio, Liberal Steve joins us now. Good morning, sir.
Hey, Minuteman Miller. How the
Minnick
heck
is
are
a gimmick.
You sound real good today.
Minnick is a gimmick.
Hey, Miller.
Sir.
I have issue with Matt because he put out the word that Labrador was a native of Idaho and that Tommy was not. which is totally false. Labrador was born in 1967 in Puerto Rico and lived in Las Vegas with his mother. Okay, went to Brigham Young University, and he married his wife and settled in Eagle. And she is a native Idaho, so he can't be putting that out there.
Well, here's a message from one of your biggest fans, Luke, who says, please keep playing Minnick is a Gimmick over Liberal Steve. It's such an improvement over anything that Liberal Steve has to say.
What was his name?
Luke.
Is that a biblical name?
I believe so.
Sounds kind of like puke.
Minnick
Anyway,
is a gimmick.
Stay fired up, okay?
Anything else? Anything else, my liege?
Oh, I am going to cross lines this year, first time ever.
You're voting for a Republican?
Yes, I'll be writing in Tommy Ahlquist, whether he gets in or not.
Oh, because you're a registered Democrat.
Yes.
I see. So Tommy has your vote.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think your last caller, he's not part of the swamp. What has Labrador done in Congress besides yak, yak, yak and the Tea Party and all that other stuff that never happened?
Well,
and that we got to get this down and that down. But let's keep putting the dollar out there until we're so far in debt. And Ahlquist is a businessman, and we need him in Idaho, period. I don't like a lot of his views on certain things, but hey, he's not part of the swamp. And Little and Labrador and a few others, and Noonie. My name's Noonie. I'm a Nooner.
No, that's Nonini. Idaho needs Nonini.
Yeah, cocaine knows Nonini.
You know, why do you attack the good conservative Bob Nonini? I think you better watch out, man. I think Nonini
he was arrested for cocaine.
I think Nonini would hit you with so many lefts you'd beg for a right.
Well, that's okay, but he was arrested for cocaine, right. And if that would have been you or me, we'd still be in jail today. You stay fired up.
Wait a minute. You could say that about a lot of politicians, though.
Well, Governor Otter was arrested for drunk driving.
Apparently something to do with tight jeans from the published reports I've heard.
Well, be arrested for drunk driving, become a governor. What's that say?
I couldn't relate to tight jeans, so I wouldn't know.
Worse than Crankle out there drinking for DUI either.
Elastic waistbands, yes. Tight jeans, not so much.
You stay fired up, Miller. You know I'm right. You know you love me. I love you. But Labrador is not a native.
Thank you for making that abundantly clear this morning.
Well, I'm sorry. Matt can't be saying that stuff when it's not true.
The fact checker, Liberal Steve. Thank you, sir.
And that was one of his reasons for voting, because he was a native, and it's not even true. Stay fired up, Miller. Minuteman.
There we have it. Our friend Terry, who visited us at the Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, formerly of State College, Pennsylvania, on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller in the morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Let me clarify first. I need an answer. So, Liberal Steve wears skinny jeans? I'm glad I've never seen him like that. That would be too much.
You learn something every day on this program.
Yeah, wow. We're just full of good news and we're just full of hideous news.
It's full of something.
Or something. Kevin, we'll go with or something. I've really been wrestling with this, and I've got to say it. When I hear people saying that they're going to vote for a man who started right off telling the lies off the get-go, when I hear people say, God told me to vote for this man because he was a spiritual leader, he is a liar. And you want to talk about insanity? You know what the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We're just going to keep doing the same thing politically that we've been doing for years. If you put a man in that lies now, he's going to lie later. Now, come on, wake up, people. Kevin, I don't get it. I don't understand that whole line of reasoning, that whole line of thinking. It's just beyond my understanding. We've had a warning right from the get-go, right from the horse's mouth. People are saying, I'm voting for that individual. Huh? Say what? Can we get back to the subject of skinny jeans?
Now, what individual are you talking about?
Mr. Ahlquist.
So you're not down with Mr. Ahlquist?
Yeah, right off the get-go, he was lying. You know, and you knew I was favoring him. I was ready for change.
You're mad because he didn't return your phone call.
No, that's irrelevant. My, oh, my. I just expect the man's just so busy or whatever doesn't want to answer questions from the front. I had multiple donors that wanted to sit with him. He didn't want to call back. His loss. He lost the votes there also.
Wow.
But anyways, skinny jeans on you.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Maybe one day.
You're doing a great job. I had to put it out there. I don't understand. If a person lies and you've seen it right up front, God doesn't tell people when you pray, vote for the liar. Come on.
Well,
that's not the Holy Spirit. It might be a spirit, but it's not the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit will lead us into all truths. Those are God's own words.
Terry, keep your powder dry.
Kevin, love you. See ya.
Love you. Quickly to Blair in Boise with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Blair. Hello, Blair.
Oh. Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Hey, pretty good, Blair.
Hey, I had a question. I was wondering if you could ask to the various candidates, and that is, if you remember last year we had flooding here in Boise Valley because of the extreme snowpack and stuff, and Governor Otter did kind of an underhand thing and tried to steal that water rights. He tried to take the water rights away and claim that water didn't belong to those who held it.
That's
and I was wondering if you could ask the three major candidates for Republican governor what they would have done in that place, especially Brad Little as he was lieutenant governor. So if you would do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Blair, we will do that. Thank you for the call.
Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
Thank you. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. KIDO Talk Radio, don't forget, big Thursday show from St. Ignatius School in Meridian, Idaho. Looking forward to being in Meridian once again, promoting our school, securing our future. Thanks to our friends at CapEd Credit Union, Grade Power Learning, and Team Mazda Subaru. And, of course, every Thursday, it's Thank You Thursdays. Tickets from the Boise Music Festival could be yours just by listening to us coming up on Thank You Thursday. Really looking forward to, again, being in the community, promoting our schools, and giving you, a reward for listening. By the way, Boise Music Festival, Expo, Idaho, June 23rd, Robin Thicke, Parmalee, Granger Smith, lots of big acts. People are pumped about this year's lineup. Can you believe 9 years of the Boise Music Festival? Traffic and weather together at KI and Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's go to Dan in Middleton at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Living the dream, brother, and you?
Yeah, I'm doing just fabulous on this spring morning. Hey, I listen to you guys, and I love you like you're the only station in town. But I'm kind of wondering how many people actually just use you as their source of information for the election. As much as I appreciate everything you do, I go out to the American Conservative Union, the Conservative Review, Freedom Foundation, Wall Street Journal. I look up as much as I can about every candidate, excuse me, before I vote. And if I was just going by the ads and the comments by these program callers that seem to be infesting your morning, I would really be voting probably badly.
Better do something about that cough, Dan.
I know. All of a sudden I got a tickle in my throat.
I hate it when that happens.
Some pollen in the air or something.
Could be.
Anyway, that's all I had to say.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Goodbye.
So there we have it. Dan giving his review and commentary on the callers and information here. Always worthwhile, but, this is your show, your voice, and, other people follow along, and we appreciate that. And that's the idea, is to grow the tribe. That's why we invite you to join us on Thursday, May 17th, along with the Idaho Republican Party. We'll be having a unity breakfast at Terry's Cafe in Meridian. Very good breakfast at Terry's. We'd love for you to see us there as we bring all sides together and get ready for the general election. Can you believe primary day is a week from today? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.